Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on the channel. In today's video I'm going to be continuing with my Blu-ray collection, going backwards as we are this year. This video is going to be my U's and my V's. I thought it made more sense to put them all together because there's not too many of them. There's probably about around 10 of each, so I thought it would be easier to just stick them in one video, because otherwise the video would be too short. So with that, I shall get straight onto it. So I'll start with the U's and then go on to the V's. So for you, the first one we have up is Up in the Air, starring George Clooney and Vera Farmiga. We've also got Anna Kendrick, Jason Bateman, Zach Galifianakis. Really good cast. Danny McBride. And this is Jason Reitman film, and I really enjoy his films. I think he's a very interesting director, different director. Each of his films are very different from each other, and I just think this is a great film. Yeah, that's Up in the Air. Next up we have Unbroken. This is a film directed by Angelina Jolie, based on a true story during the Second World War, I believe, about an Olympian who was I'm trying to see what he did in the Olympics. Runner, I think. He basically gets taken as a prisoner of war by the Japanese, and he's basically just got to try and survive. Yeah, I've seen this not for a very long time, so it's definitely due a rewatch soon. But yeah, that is Unbroken. Next up, we have Unforgettable. This came out a fair few years ago now. It's one that I got cheap. It's an import from America that I got cheap, and I remember watching it and I thought it was a pretty average thriller. There wasn't anything too special about it, but it interested me. So yeah, I got it in the collection. I will probably watch it again at some point. I don't know when. I think one of the reasons that this probably isn't a great film is because it's a case of the producer from the production company decided she wanted to make it herself, so she decided to direct it herself. And I don't know if she's directed anything before, but yeah, anyway, Unforgettable. Next up we have A United Kingdom. I have seen this again, it's been a long time, but I remember it being a very, I'd say, heartwarming film. It's based on a true story again, set in Britain in the late 40s, just after the war's finished, about like a working class woman who meets and falls in love with an African prince, and it's kind of like she has to go back to his country, and it's got a bit of politics in it, but it's really good, and it's got a really good supporting cast. I'm pretty sure, I'm just looking, yeah, Nicholas Lyndhurst's in this. Obviously you've got Rosamund Pike and David Oyelowo, Jack Davenport, Tom Felton's in it, Jack Loudon. Got a really good British cast in this, so yeah, I'm looking forward to giving that another watch. Next up we have Unknown, starring Liam Neeson. I've seen this, I saw this a long time ago and I'd forgotten it, so I watched it about a year or two ago, and I really liked it. I think it's a really good, I would say more thriller over action, but there are action bits in it. The twist's really good. Didn't see the twist coming. It is one of Liam Neeson's better thriller films. When he teams up with this director, he generally does do good stuff. He did Non-Stop, which I really liked, and they did The Commuter, which I really liked as well together, and Run All Night as well, which isn't as good. But yeah, that is Unknown. Next up we have the classic, The Untouchables. This one's definitely due a 4K upgrade for me. I need to get it in the collection on 4K. I've not actually watched this for a long time. I've not even seen this Blu-ray, I don't think. But I really like the film. It's a really good film. It's a classic, like I say. Probably the first film that really brought Kevin Costner out to fame. I think he did this just before Dances with Wolves. Yeah, a few years before Dances with Wolves. But I think this was like his breakthrough film. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, definitely recommend The Untouchables. Next up, we have Unstoppable, starring Denzel Washington and Chris Pine. This was directed by Tony Scott. This was his last film, and it's a pretty decent film. It's another thriller, the typical sort of film that he used to direct. Basically, it's about a runaway train. The train driver trying to stop it. You got Denzel Washington, say Chris Pine, but because of what's on it and where it's going, it would cause like huge destruction. So they basically just got to try and stop it because it's got lots of chemicals on board, I think. But yeah, that's Unstoppable. And the last in the use is The Usual Suspects, another fantastic film directed by Bryan Singer, written by Christopher McQuarrie, and you've got the likes of Benicio del Toro, Stephen Baldwin, Kevin Spacey, Gabriel Byrne, Pete Postlethwaite. Just a fantastic cast. Really, really good film and a very great twist. If you haven't seen this and you like your crime thrillers, highly recommend this. And then going on to the V's, first up we have the classic vacation collection. It's basically all the vacation films that you need. You don't really need the newer one wasn't bad, but I know they did a few like spin-offs that weren't too good. But this has obviously the original Vacation, European Vacation, Christmas Vacation, and Vegas Vacation. The ones I go back to the most are Vacation and Christmas Vacation. I try and watch Christmas Vacation every year. But yeah, they're great films, great comedies in the 80s. Sorts of films that you couldn't make nowadays, but are very funny. Next up, we have Valentine's Day. This is a very cheesy rom-com. Not a particularly great film, but I enjoy it. It's got a hell of a cast as well. It's directed by Gary Marshall, who did Pretty Woman, amongst quite a lot of other same sorts of films, romantic comedies, Runaway Bride, New Year's Eve. Those are just a few to think of off the top of my head. But yeah, it's a good, decent film. If you're into those sorts of films. Then we have Valkyrie, starring Tom Cruise, obviously about Operation Valkyrie, which was the operation to try and assassinate Hitler. Yeah, this was a really good film. Bit different for Tom Cruise. Since this film, he's not really done any like straight up dramas like this. Not really. But it was a good film. I really enjoyed it. If you like your war films, definitely recommend checking that one out. Next up, another Tom Cruise film. We have Vanilla Sky. This is a Cameron Crowe film. I really like Cameron Crowe. Jerry Maguire is my favourite Tom Cruise film. This is just a really interesting film. I really like the cover as well. I know this is on 4K now, but I've not even watched this since I think I streamed it on Prime years ago. So I need to at least watch this on the Blu-ray before I upgrade, because otherwise it was just a waste of money. But yeah, very interesting sci-fi sort of film. Also got Cameron Diaz in it as well, Kurt Russell, Penelope Cruz. Yeah, I remember it being entertaining. Next up we have Vantage Point. This was a nice little thriller. Liked it a lot more than I thought, and it's again got a really good cast. You have Dennis Quaid, who's the main character. You got Sigourney Weaver. William Hurt plays the president. Matthew Fox is in this. Forrest Whitaker. Yeah, just a great cast. It's basically set from different people's points of views about the attempted assassination of, or I don't know if I can't remember if he was killed or not. The president, he's doing like a rally in Spain, and someone tries killing him, and it's basically the 10 minutes leading up to it from different people's perspectives, so it kind of builds a bigger picture, pieces together bits of a puzzle, and I thought it was really well done. Very short, 90 minutes, nice and concise, and just a really decent action thriller. Next up we have Viceroy's House, starring Hugh Bonneville, Gillian Anderson. based on a true story about the last viceroy of India in 1947 and how India finally got independence from Britain, and about the changes in the government in the country as it happened. I saw this at the cinema. I remember really enjoying it. But it's one again. I need to watch it again. Next up, we have Victoria and Abdul. Similar kind of sort of thing. Set set about 50 years before this, I think, maybe even more than that. But it's about Queen Victoria towards the later years of her life, and she meets Abdul, who's from India. He's obviously, because back when India was part of Britain, a lot of the Indian people came over, or we went over, because the Queen obviously owned India. It's difficult to explain, but she makes a friendship with him, and it's just a really nice, lovely film. Next up, we have Violent Night, starring David Harbour. This is going to be, for me, I think, a new Christmas staple. I saw this at the cinema, not last year, the year before. Really liked it, watched it again. I want to say just before Christmas. It wasn't on Christmas Eve, it was right just before Christmas. And really like it. It's one that, as I say, I'm going to watch this every year. I'm hoping that it does become like a Christmas like classic sort of thing, because it deserves it. It's a good film, and we are supposed to be getting a sequel at some point, so it'd be nice to see what they do next with that. And finally, with the V's, we have The Vow, starring Channing Tatum and Rachel McAdams. I'm a sucker for these sorts of films. This is like sort of more of a romantic drama than a romantic comedy, but from what I remember, it does have bits of comedy in it. We've also got Jessica Lange and Sam Neill in it as well, who play Rachel McAdams' parents. And basically, they get involved in a car accident, and she forgets everything. Well, not everything. She forgets basically her life with Channing Tatum. They're married, and she completely forgets who he is. It's based on a true story, and it's basically about them trying to fall in love with each other again, or her trying to fall in love with him again, sort of. Yeah, it was a really nice film. That is The Vow. And that is everything for this video. That is all of my U's and all of my V's in my collection. As I said, not too many. The next video will probably, I'm going to say it'll be slightly longer, because it's the T's, and I have got quite a lot of T's in my collection. The T's and the S's are going to be quite big, and then I think we'll have shorter videos again, R's and Q's and P's. Excuse me. I will more than likely, I'm just looking now, put the Q's with the O's or something, or the Q's with the P's, because I still can't see. Where am I looking? I have 1, 2, 3. I've only got 4 Q's, so there's not really much point putting it on its own, because that would be a bit pointless. But yeah, this will probably go up next weekend. I'm filming this the day after my collection update video that I did. I've got a video coming Thursday. That'll be my W's. Look out for that Thursday afternoon. This I'll probably put out on next Saturday. And then I'm away for next weekend, so I won't be able to make any videos next weekend, but then I'll try and do a bit more. As I say, I'm not having a schedule anymore. It'll be kind of just an as and when I can sort of thing. I do still want to make videos, it's just when I have the time and when I can. But yeah, I've already explained that in my last video, so that is it. If you like the video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, turn the notification bell on so you know when I have a new video uploaded to the channel. Comment down below anything and everything. I always take the time to get back to anyone that leaves me a comment, because I really do appreciate it. And that is it. So until next time, everyone, take care. Goodbye.